Hi, it's Sandy Parker and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. Today we're going to be working on our cards for Cubs. I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, the first thing I wanted to make sure is that you know that by the end of March, you need to have your cards in to Cards for Cubs. If you're not familiar with Cards for Cubs, it's an organization that sends cards that are either birthday cards or encouraging cards to kids that are in foster care. And I prefer to give cards for older children because I feel like most people probably focus on younger kids. So I'm working with mine are older. I wanted to show you step by step the easiest way to make a lot of cards. The first thing I did is I went through a lot of my stamp sets that I set aside specifically for this that I got from Unity Stamps in the last couple of years. I really like their sentiments and I like their images of girls because I think they're more, I guess I'll say contemporary. They're not outdated looking and I like that. So what I did was I put these in my MISTI and I just went through and I stamped out a bunch of them. Now here's the thing you have to remember. This image, it doesn't matter if you wanted, let's say that you don't have more than one stamp that you like for this project. You could send 20 of this particular image because they're sending these to kids all over the United States. So it's not like the same kid is going to get 2 of the same card. So you don't have to worry about that. All you need to focus on is making your commitment and honoring it. And when you go to the link, and I'll make sure I put the link below for Cards for Cubs, you'll go to their link and you commit to how many cards you're going to send. And I think it breaks it out into how many birthday and how many encouraging. I am doing 20 encouraging and 10 birthday. Yes, I know that's crazy for me, but we're going with it. It's a lot of cards. But anyway, this is how I do it. I do all my stamped images, and then if some of them are screwed up, like this is doubled, like I moved it and I have a double stamp, so I just won't use that one. Same with this one, I accidentally stamped over it, and this one. So I try to use my paper as effectively as I can, but for some reason I had issues with my stamping today, so some of them aren't good. This one I did great. Look, the whole page is great. So I don't know if I just need to warm up or what, but that's what I recommend. The other thing that I do, and this is strictly because this is how I like to do things, is I use my MISTI. And if you're not familiar with the MISTI, it's a tool that looks like this. Mine's filthy. I'm sorry about that. You put your stamps on this side and then you ink them, then you put your paper in you put your paper in this side, and I put a magnet to hold mine down, and then you can stamp and restamp and restamp. The reason that I like it, because I like to have a darker image, and when I stamp, I don't get a really dark image, so I like to make sure I stamp it, and normally I stamp 3 times. So it makes it so much easier for people like me that aren't the world's best stampers, and it also is nice for people that just like to do a bunch on one page. Like this was so much easier because I had them all in here. I stamped it. I stamped them each 3 times, pulled that paper out, put a new paper in, stamped it again 3 times. So simple. So that's where I am right now. My next step is I'm going to alcohol color all of these. Now, I normally would walk you through that and show you that process, but I think this video is going to be long anyway, so I think I'll skip the coloring, and I apologize for that. If you didn't hear, I finally got my scan and cut up and running, so some of these I will punch out, and I'm going to show you how what different punches I'll be using. I'm probably going to be using punches or just cutting out all of my sentiments, but for these girls, I'm hoping I'll be able to use the scan and cut for those. So that's where we stand right now. I'll come back after everything is colored. So I wanted to show you some ways you can shortcut doing your cards, and here's one of them. I colored all of these and I stamped out all of the sentiments. And then what I did is I put them in my copier and I just photocopy them, and then you can cut them out from there. But the thing that's nice about this is you could save these year after year and not have to recolor, restamp, the whole thing. Saves you a lot of time. Let me show you the ones I've got done so far. I think I've got, I don't know, 13 or 14 done. As you know, I try to make sure that I do every color, racial colors that I can, to make sure that I cover everybody that would be in foster care. I wasn't really crazy about this outfit in this one, so I put what looks like straps on it so it wasn't as revealing looking. But anyway, the most important thing a girl wear is her confidence. These are, the stamp sets are all from Unity Stamps, and I'll make sure I put those links below. You don't have to be perfect to be awesome. I really like that one. I used this stamp last year. This is new this year, but that stamp is from last year. This is from an old set of stamps, or excuse me, a set of paper I had that I forgot I had, and it was perfect. It said, "Let there always be love in her eyes and a flower in her hair." I thought that was really fun. This one's fun too, with the little purple. I have a lot of this one right now. You'll see a lot of different outfits. A good life is when you smile often, dream big, laugh a lot, and realize how blessed you are for what you have. Another good sentiment. One more of this outfit. We all have a purpose. Find it, embrace it, own it, live it. Again, these are all from Unity Stamps. I really like their sentiments for encouragement. I swear I'm not going to have 1,000 more of these girls in this top. You don't have to be perfect to be awesome. The most important thing a girl wears is her confidence. These were little stickers that I got that are retired from Stampin' Up. And then that is another one of the stamps from Unity Stamps. This is that same one, a good life is when you dream, smile often. I had a little problem. I used a black marker to go around the edges of this, and I accidentally wrote it across her top. And I didn't want that, so I made a necklace out of diamonds. I know. You have to do what you got to do. Another from that card set, Be Happy, Be Bright, Be You. This is a set from last year. The image. What makes you different is what makes you beautiful. I think that sentiment is with that same stamp set, but I might be wrong. I like this one a lot. Be proud of yourself for how hard you are trying. I think that's really important. Oh, there's that same top again. Again, be proud of yourself for how hard you are trying. I like this one. You don't have to be perfect to be awesome. I like this one. You are wonderful. You don't have to be perfect to be awesome. And then that's what I've got done for right now. I thought I would kind of walk you through my thought process on how I do it. I have a lot of, what do you call that? 4x6 papers that are, or 5x7, I don't know. I'll show you these. I made this box in a video a long time ago, but they're in color order, and these are all pattern papers. And so what I did was I took my image, and let's say it's this one. I started with this, then I picked out a paper that would match it, and then I picked out a card base. Now my card bases, I have a ton of those that I got at Michael's several years ago, and I can't go through enough of those. Every year when I do this, I think, okay, this year I'm definitely going to go through enough of those, but nope, I still have a ton more. Here's the problem with these from Michael's, and I'll show you when we get in further. They're very lightweight, and they're also textured. I don't like textured paper. I just don't. And here's the weird thing about these. You know, when you're looking at it in the box, you think, oh, that's not bad. Some of them, weirdly enough, have a pattern on the back. Okay, there's that. Oh, what's that on the back? I don't know what. Here's an orange one on the back and a pink one on the front. The same, all from the same box. Isn't that weird? Anyway, there's my problem on those. So what I did is I went through all of them, and I made myself a pile so that I was ready with the stamp, the cut image, and the card base. And then I have sitting beside me. All of the things I need, which would be like foam tape. I've been using these glue sticks from Avery, and I think they work pretty well. They make it fast and not too messy. And this is one of those card bases, so I'll just show you. I cut my papers to 4 by 5 1/4, and then you want to make sure you get a lot of glue around the edge, because that's what's going to lift off. The middle of the card or the paper isn't that important, but those edges, if you're going to have a problem, that's where you're going to have it. And then make sure it's attached. Then I picked a sentiment out of my sentiment pile. I think I want a bigger one. I kind of thought this one was fun. I used what looks like a sun, but the problem with that is it's white on white. It won't show up. So let me see if I can find one that I can color. I could just color the edges of that, couldn't I? Yeah, let's see if I can find one, a blue that's even in the ballpark of that. I opened my big set of markers and I put it on the floor beside me so I can just reach in and pick out one. And then what I did with my markers is I would lay the marker and ink it on the paper that's sitting right beside, and then decide which one looks better. And I think the darker one will look better with this. So then I think I'm just gonna maybe just do these little edges. I know it'll take me an hour to do this, but that's why it takes me forever to do these cards, just because I'm picky. I want to have it look like I tried. If it doesn't look perfect, that's okay. It's a homemade card. The rules for these cards are that they have to be homemade, and they have to be normal size cards, like 4 by 4, like A2, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or 5 by 7. There was a third size, but I don't remember what that was. I apologize. But if you go to Cards for Cub, they have their guidelines, and it shows you right on there exactly what you need to do. And the rules are pretty simple. They want to make sure that you're doing cards for pretty much all ages of kids, and mine are more for older kids, and as I said before, I don't think that they get a lot for older kids, so I don't think that they would mind that. When I've been doing this, I've raised one of these images, and then the other one I've left flat. And in this case, I think I'm going to put the little girl flat, and I'm going to raise the sentiment. It seems like it takes a long time to do this, but if you do take the time to make those copies, like I told you, the photocopy of them, if you do that, then next year you should be able to make them relatively quickly, I would think. I haven't done that because last year it didn't occur to me to do that. I wouldn't. But now I'm on to it. I've got a plan. And, okay, this year I only remembered to do it with half of them, so... And I don't know if you watch Lindsay the Frugal Crafter's videos, but years ago she started using these foam squares that her kids got in a 3D puzzle. And Rich and I were at a garage sale, and this lady was giving away an old 3D puzzle, and the 3D puzzle I didn't care about, but guess what was in there? The huge bag, and I mean huge. Wait, I'll show you, of those yellow. And that was just one of those. I don't know how many Lindsay ended up with, but I think that's pretty cool that I got all of those for free. Okay, so that one's done. This card should be pretty simple, but I thought you'd get a kick out of it. The card itself says hello on it, but again, it's textured, and I don't like textured cards. They're hard to write on. So I cut my paper that's layering it to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I'm just going to make sure I liked the look of this. I thought it was kind of an interesting combination. And as I said, all the papers I'm using are all old that I've had for a very, very long time. So you don't have to go, oh, geez, I wish I could find it. You won't find them. I don't know where you could look, but you won't find them anywhere. Then, where did I put the jewels at that I had? I have these ones, but well, that might work. Okay. There's that one. Oh, here's one I can show you. I was trying to explain before about the coloring it. See how I took the green marker and just went around the edges with it? And then on the inside it bled through. So I cut this piece a little bit smaller, just a little bit, so that I could get it inside. And so it's probably, it is 4 1/4, but it's not 5 1/2. It's maybe 5 and just maybe a 1/16 of an inch less than 5 1/2. That way, when you put it inside, no one will see that it's that it doesn't, one of these things is not like the other, if you get what I'm saying. Now, if you have a weird edge, like this one, I have some green sticking over. I could have rounded the corners on this. You might want to do that on yours, on your sentiments. But I decided not to on this one. I don't think I did on any of them. I did use some different punches, and for the most part, I just used a die that I liked that was rectangular in shape, and it fit 2 or 3 of the images, the sentiments, and I liked it. I accidentally cut this cardstock when I was cutting the sentiment, and I didn't really want to do that, but I ended up doing that anyway. And I'm going to make this one into a flag. Okay. Oh, nice job. Okay, there's that one. I hope you had a good time watching this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media, because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.